The face, the voice, the driving force of the UFC, Dana White is a name synonymous with the brand. But who is the man behind the most recognizable face in MMA? How did this guy with connections to the mob go from being a small fry boxing promoter to running a multi-billion-dollar global empire? And what makes him tick? Welcome to my channel. It's time to look at the man behind the octagon, Dana White. In 2016, Forbes estimated Dana's net worth at a cool $500 million, making him the richest person in the history of combat sports. When it comes to wealth, only the owners of the Zuffa, the parent company that owns the UFC, are richer. But when it comes to influence, Dana White sits at the top table. There's no doubt about it. He is the most powerful promoter in the history of combat sports. But it's not always been this way. Back in the early 90s, Dana was just another boxing promoter looking for his big break. In 1994, Art Davie, a marketing executive, had an idea. Wanted to create a tournament-style event that would pit fighters from different martial arts disciplines against each other. The winner would be crowned the first UFC champion. This was the birth of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. At first, Davie ran the organization single-handedly, but he knew that he needed help if he was going to expand the sport. That's when he brought Dana White on board. Back then, Dana was just one of many boxing promoters trying to make a buck. But he quickly became the face of the UFC, and has been there ever since. He appeared in all the early videos hyping up the fights. Even today, he still does. Almost every post-fight interview includes him handing out bonuses and talking to the media. If you don't recognize his face, well, you must have been living under a rock. But we can guarantee that if you didn't know his name before, you probably do now. When it comes to the modern UFC, Dana is its figurehead, whether we like it or not. And while some people may not like him, there's no denying that he's good at what he does. Dana is known for his quick wit and colorful language. Ask almost any fighter and they'll tell you that he's got a mouth on him. He doesn't hold back, and he's not afraid to speak his mind. Whether you love him or hate him, you have to admit there's something refreshing about it. He's not afraid to call out fighters who are ducking each other. He's also not afraid to criticize the commission when he thinks they're wrong. Of course, he's made some pretty bold statements over the years, like when he claimed that Conor McGregor could beat Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match, or when he said that Ronda Rousey could beat Chris. We all know how those two turned out. But that's just Dana being Dana. He's a fighter at heart, and he loves nothing more than a good scrap. That's why he's so passionate about the sport. And that's why he's so good at promoting it. He knows what fans want to see, and he delivers. One thing you have to give Dana credit for is his passion for the sport. You can tell that he genuinely loves it, and that he's not just in it for the money. He's often seen at events supporting his fighters, even if they're not on the card. He's also very involved in the day-to-day operations of the UFC, which is no easy feat considering how big the organization has become. Dana is a hands-on type of guy, and he's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He's been known to step in and help out wherever he's needed, and that's why the UFC has been so successful. It's because they have someone at the helm who's willing to put in the hard work and make the sacrifices necessary to make the company thrive. But it hasn't always been easy. The UFC has faced a lot of criticism over the years, much of it warranted. They've been accused of being too violent, of not taking care of their fighters, and of being more interested in making money than providing entertainment. But through it all, Dana has stuck by his vision, and he's come out on top. Today, the UFC is one of the most popular sports organizations in the world. They have millions of fans all over the globe, and their events regularly sell out. So what's the secret? What makes Dana White so successful? Well, for starters, he's a great promoter. He knows how to hype up a fight and get people excited about it. He's also very savvy when it comes to business. He's managed to grow the UFC from a small regional promotion to a global powerhouse. And he's done it without sacrificing the integrity of the sport. Dana is a fighter at heart, and he's always looking for the next big thing. He's constantly on the lookout for new talent, and he's not afraid to give them a chance. He's given a platform to some of the most exciting fighters in the world, and he's helped them become superstars. Of course, Dana has made some questionable decisions over the years, but who doesn't? The point is that he's human. He's not perfect, but that's what makes him so relatable. We all make mistakes. We all have to deal with the consequences of those mistakes. But that's also where we learn and grow. Dana has learned from his mistakes, and he has used them to make him better at what he does. Some people don't like Dana White, and we get it. It's not perfect, and he's made some bad decisions over the years. But that's what makes him so human. We all make mistakes. We all have to deal with the consequences of those mistakes. But that's also where we learn and grow. Dana has learned from his mistakes, and he has used them to make him better at what he does. Love him or hate him, Dana White is the face of the modern UFC. Without him, the sport wouldn't be where it is today. So next time you're watching a UFC event, take a moment to appreciate the man who made it all possible. He's the guy with the loud voice and the even bigger heart. He's the guy who loves fighting more than anything else in life. He's the guy who's responsible for bringing you the most exciting fights in the world. So thank you, Dana White, for everything you've done for the sport of MMA. Now, before we leave, we want to hear from you. What do you think of Dana White as a person and as a promoter? You agree with everything he says and does, or do you think he needs to change some things up? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. While Dana White might seem like the kind of guy who got where he is because of connections, there's no denying his drive and ambition got him to the top. To learn about another self-made billionaire with shady connections, watch this video about Elon Musk's rise to the top. And to see how a former WWE star turned commentator became the voice of the UFC, watch this video on the great Mike Goldberg.